My name is Melanie Cooper and I'm talking about adjusting Prasarita Padottanasana C. So this pose it's a wide-legged forward bend, so that means you have to go very carefully in taking anyone further forwards because the hamstrings and one of the adductors, adductor magnus, that attaches to the sit bones are very vulnerable in this position. Also, when you're taking the arms over like this, the AC joint at the front of the shoulder is very vulnerable. And you might or you might not remember from your physics classes, when you have a long lever, a small force at one end can put a big force at the other end. So you might be adjusting the hands what you think is very gently, but actually it gives a very big action at the other end of the arm. So all that is to say, be very cautious and very gentle when you're adjusting this pose. Okay, so inhale, stepping out to the side. Arms to shoulder height. Exhale, interlace the fingers. So the hands stay open in this pose. So if you close the hands together, it also gives a closing in the upper back. So keep the hands open. And then inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, folding forwards. So the first option, if someone's not so flexible in this position, is to come in front of the thigh. So I'm just touching, not directly on the knee. You need to make sure that the other foot is forward, so you've got a really stable foundation. Sometimes people will put their whole body weight against your leg, and if you're not really stable, then you could both end up falling over, which is kind of uncomfortable and embarrassing. So make sure that you've really got a nice big stance between your feet so you're very stable. And then I want to internally rotate these forearms, so just gently encourage that internal rotation, and then on her exhalation I just let her go further into the pose. So I'm not really pressing her down, just that she's got the weight of my arms, which are relaxed, resting on her arms. But I'm not actively pushing her down, but she's still going down anyway. When I release, my hand is on the sacrum to make sure she's balanced. And if you can get your leg to go in between the hands, make sure you're not going to stand on the hair. So you stand so the back of your leg is just touching the back. And then take hold of the front of the shoulders and draw the upper back against your leg. And what that does is it gives a very nice opening for the shoulders, and it puts the shoulders in the correct position down away from the ears. And then once you've done that, just really fingertip pressure, very gently easing them down. If someone's just about to lose their grip, then pressing the wrists in towards each other, just so that they can relax, knowing that they're not going to lose their grip, quite often can take them deeper into the pose. But I'm not really pressing down. And then as I release, again, my hand to the sacrum to make sure she's got her balance, hand to the shoulder, and I help her up. So I always check, after the first time I've adjusted a student in this pose, I always check with them if it's too hard and if it needed to be more gentle next time. Because sometimes you don't feel any resistance, but it still feels very, very intense for the student. So I think this adjustment is one of those ones where you always need to check with the student if it feels okay to adjust.